Coach Ryan Mitchell was more than just a youth basketball coach. For 12 years, he had been a mentor, a father figure, and a hero to hundreds of kids in the Providence Youth Sports Program. He coached underprivileged children whose families could not afford expensive travel teams. He raised funds so every kid could play regardless of their family's financial situation. He was the coach who stayed late, helping struggling players improve their skills. He was the coach who showed up to school events and graduation ceremonies. Parents trusted him completely. Kids looked up to him like he was family. But what those families did not know was that for the past 6 years, Ryan Mitchell had been systematically stealing from the youth league he claimed to love. Every fundraiser, every donation, every registration fee went into accounts he controlled. He stole money meant for uniforms and told kids to wear practice jerseys instead. He cancelled tournament trips that were already paid for and pocketed the funds. He embezzled $890,000 from a program serving 300 low-income families while living in luxury and letting children's dreams die. What you are about to witness is the complete destruction of a man who betrayed the most innocent trust. So if you have watched this far, do not miss the end. Like the video and dive into the story, because this confrontation between profound betrayal and unwavering justice will leave you speechless. It is Thursday morning, 9 a.m. sharp, at the Providence Municipal Court. The courtroom is packed with devastated parents, teenage athletes whose futures were stolen, and young children confused about why Coach Ryan is in trouble. And there, at the defendant's table, sits Ryan Mitchell in casual clothes, his expression showing a man who still believes his years of coaching should count for something. The bailiff's voice cuts through the emotion. The state of Rhode Island versus Ryan James Mitchell. Judge Caprio looks down from his bench with visible disappointment. Mr. Mitchell, you stand accused of embezzlement, fraud, theft from a non-profit organization, and breach of fiduciary duty totaling $890,000 over 6 years. These charges involve money donated by families who trusted you to help their children. How do you respond? Mitchell stands, his voice carrying the same inspirational tone he used with players. Your Honor, I dedicated 12 years of my life to those kids. I coached hundreds of children. I changed lives. Yes, I made financial mistakes, but my heart was always in the right place. Judge Caprio's eyes narrow. Financial mistakes? Mr. Mitchell, you systematically stole nearly $1 million from a children's sports program. That is not a mistake. That is theft from kids who depended on you. Mitchell maintains his coaching persona. Your Honor, running a youth program requires funding. I may have used unorthodox methods, but everything I did was to keep the program alive. Unorthodox methods? Mr. Mitchell, you transferred donation money into personal accounts and spent it on luxury cars, casino gambling, and vacations. How was that keeping the program alive? For the first time, Mitchell's inspirational tone falters. I had to maintain a certain image as a coach. Appearance matters when recruiting sponsors. Subscribe to Justice Talks if you believe coaches who steal from children's programs deserve serious punishment. Judge Caprio picks up a financial report. Let me tell you what investigators found. Over 6 years, you collected $890,000 in donations, fundraising proceeds, and registration fees. Of that amount, only $72,000 actually went to the youth program. The remaining $818,000 went directly to your personal use. You stole 92% of the money donated to help children. Do you deny this? Mitchell shifts uncomfortably. The financial records are complicated. Not every transaction was categorized correctly. Not categorized correctly? Mr. Mitchell, you purchased a $68,000 Mercedes with money donated for travel team expenses. You spent $43,000 gambling in Atlantic City with funds raised at a charity basketball tournament. You took a $15,000 vacation to Aruba using money from a bake sale organized by 12-year-olds. Where is the miscategorization? Judge Caprio picks up a victim impact statement. Let me tell you about one specific family. Marcus Thompson was a 15-year-old basketball player with exceptional talent. His mother, a single parent working 2 jobs, saved money for 3 years to pay for the elite travel team you promised would get Marcus exposure to college scouts. She paid you $8,000. What happened to Marcus? Mitchell looks down. Marcus was a good player. I tried to help him. Tried to help him? Mr. Mitchell, you told Marcus's mother that the travel team would attend 5 major showcase tournaments where college scouts would see him play. You collected her $8,000, then you cancelled every single tournament and kept the money. Marcus never got to showcase his talent. He is now 17, too old to be recruited by most programs, working at a fast food restaurant because he lost his chance at a basketball scholarship. His mother worked 60-hour weeks for 3 years so you could buy a Mercedes. Judge Caprio's voice grows colder. Let me tell you about another victim. The Rodriguez family has 3 children in your program. The parents organized a neighborhood fundraiser that raised $27,000 specifically for new uniforms and equipment. They spent months planning, selling raffle tickets, hosting events. What happened to that $27,000? Mitchell's voice cracks slightly. Equipment costs are expensive. The money went toward program expenses. Program expenses, Mr. Mitchell? Investigators traced that money. $12,000 went to casino gambling, $8,000 went toward your car payment, $7,000 went to luxury dining and entertainment, $0 went to uniforms or equipment. The Rodriguez children played their entire season in worn-out jerseys with holes while you gambled away the money their parents raised. Judge Caprio leans forward. Let me tell you what else you did. You organized a charity tournament where local businesses donated prizes, parents volunteered time, and kids sold tickets to their neighbors. The tournament raised $53,000. You told everyone the money would fund a new indoor practice facility so kids could train year-round. What happened to that money? Mitchell remained silent. I will tell you. You spent $38,000 gambling in a single weekend in Las Vegas. You spent $12,000 on designer clothes. You spent $3,000 on bottle service at nightclubs. The practice facility was never built. Kids continued practicing outdoors in winter cold and summer heat, while you partied with money their families donated, believing it would help their children. Judge Caprio picks up a letter. This is from 13-year-old Isabella Martinez. Let me read it. Coach Ryan was my hero. He told me I could be great if I worked hard. My mum could not afford the expensive team, but Coach Ryan said he had a scholarship fund for kids like me. Mum gave him $2,000, all she had saved. Coach Ryan said I would get to play in tournaments, and college coaches would see me. None of it happened. I am still playing on the local rec team with no chance of being noticed. Coach Ryan lied to me. He took my mom's money and my dreams. Isabella is here today. Would you like to explain to her why you stole her dreams? Mitchell breaks down crying. I never meant to hurt the kids. I got in over my head with debts. I started using program money to cover personal expenses. Then I could not stop. I am not a bad person. I loved those kids. Loved them? Mr. Mitchell, you destroyed their futures for gambling money. You stole scholarships, cancelled tournaments, and crushed dreams so you could live in luxury. That is not love. That is betrayal. Judge Caprio picks up another document. Let me tell you about the team trip that never happened. You told 35 families their children were going to a national championship tournament in Florida. Parents paid you $1,200 per child, total $42,000. You showed families hotel confirmations, flight schedules, tournament registration. Everything looked legitimate. What happened? Mitchell's voice is barely audible. I had to cancel the trip due to unforeseen circumstances. Unforeseen circumstances, Mr. Mitchell. There was never a trip planned. You created fake documents. You collected $42,000 from families who saved for months. 3 days before the supposed departure, you sent an email saying the tournament was cancelled due to facility issues. The families later discovered there was no tournament. The facility never had an issue. You invented the entire thing to steal $42,000. 35 children packed bags for a trip that never existed because you gambled away their money. Judge Caprio's hands clenched the documents. Let me tell you the worst part. Several families were so grateful for your coaching that they organized a surprise appreciation event for you. They raised $15,000 as a gift to thank you for your dedication to their children. They presented it to you at a ceremony where kids gave speeches about how you changed their lives. Do you remember that night? Mitchell nods, crying. You accepted their gift, gave an emotional speech about how coaching was your calling, hugged crying children, and thanked families for trusting you. 2 days later, you spent their entire $15,000 gift gambling in a casino. The families who honored you for helping their children did not know you had already stolen hundreds of thousands from the program. They did not know you were destroying everything they thought you represented. Judge Caprio takes a deep breath. Ryan Mitchell, for 12 years you were a hero to children who had very few heroes. You were a mentor to kids from struggling families who needed someone to believe in them. You were trusted by parents who worked multiple jobs and sacrificed everything to give their children opportunities, and you betrayed every single one of them for money to fund gambling, luxury purchases, and vacations. Mitchell's face crumbles completely. Your Honor, please, I can work to pay it back. I can volunteer with youth programs. I can spend the rest of my life making amends. Just please do not send me to prison. Those kids need to see redemption is possible. Redemption? Mr. Mitchell, Marcus Thompson lost his basketball future. Isabella Martinez lost her dreams. 35 children packed for trips that never existed. 300 families donated money believing you would help their children. You do not get redemption by asking for it. You earn it through consequences. Judge Caprio's voice becomes firm. For embezzlement of $890,000 from a non-profit organization serving children, I am imposing a sentence of 10 years in federal prison. For fraud in creating fake tournaments and events, an additional 4 years. For breach of fiduciary duty to vulnerable families, an additional 3 years. Your sentences will run consecutively for a total of 17 years in federal custody. The courtroom erupts. Mitchell collapses, sobbing. 17 years, Your Honor. I will be 59. My coaching career is over. My life is ruined. Your coaching career, Mr. Mitchell. You destroyed that yourself when you chose gambling over children. Marcus Thompson is 17 with no basketball future. Isabella Martinez is 13 with crushed dreams. 300 families lost money they could not afford to lose. Your ruined life is justice. Additionally, you are ordered to pay full restitution of $890,000 to the Youth League. All assets are seized immediately. You are permanently banned from coaching, working with children, or being involved with any youth organization, and you will serve every day of your 17 years knowing you betrayed the children who loved you most. The bailiffs move forward as handcuffs click around Mitchell's wrists. Judge Caprio delivers final words. Ryan Mitchell, you were supposed to be a role model. Children looked up to you. Families trusted you with their hopes and their hard-earned money. Instead, you stole dreams, destroyed futures, and betrayed innocence for gambling money and luxury. Today, you learned that exploiting children's trust demands the harshest consequences. You will spend 17 years in prison while Marcus Thompson works at a fast food restaurant instead of playing college basketball, while Isabella Martinez plays local rec league instead of competing for scholarships, while 35 children remember packing for trips that never existed because you gambled away their parents' money. Within hours, the Youth League begins recovering. Seized assets provide partial restitution. Local businesses donate to rebuild the program. New leadership implements oversight. Marcus Thompson receives a private scholarship from someone who heard his story. Isabella Martinez joins a properly funded team. But the betrayal leaves permanent scars. Sometimes the most important lesson about trust comes from watching someone who, children idolized, reveal himself as someone who stole their futures. Ryan Mitchell walked into that courtroom hoping his years of coaching would somehow excuse his theft. He was dragged out in handcuffs, headed to 17 years in prison, permanently banned from ever coaching again, where he will have nearly 2 decades to reflect on how he destroyed the dreams of 300 children who called him coach. If you believe people who steal from children's programs deserve serious punishment, please like and subscribe. Check out other stories where justice catches those who betray the innocent. See you in the next video. Stay healthy.